Hello, I'm your host, Skye Morgan. I'm joined by
Tricia Walker, I'm the co-host, and welcome to the first episode of
the Youth Voices podcast. I'd like to preface this episode with a slight trigger warning. We might be discussing a little bit about political climate of LGBTQ rights, mental health, etc. Thank you.
As mentioned, this is the first episode of this new series. My name is Tricia Walker. I am 19 years old. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a student journalist with a passion for platforming young voices.
I'm Skye Morgan. I'm 17 years old. I use they, them pronouns. I'm transgender non-binary. I'm a member of the Scottish Youth Parliament for LGBT Youth Scotland, founder of the We're Not Going Anywhere campaign, IWIL ambassador, member of the Youth Advisory Group for Suicide Prevention Scotland, and youth activist.
So we're going to talk about this podcast and how we got involved with it.
Yeah, so it started in college when we started doing our podcasting module for our college assessment. And I saw that the Be the Change Media Network were hiring for a new podcast. So I applied for that. It was great. The interview process went great. Everything went great. And I got accepted to join the Forgotten Generations podcast. And I brought Tricia along with me as I thought she could bring sort of new light to the idea. And she's also one of my great friends.
You just brought me on and we did a wee recording thingy about what each episode will be about. Then we had a meeting with Lily and Troy.
Yeah, so if those that have been listening, you'll know Troy. He's the usual voice you'll hear, doing interviews, etc. He's lovely. He's helped us a lot with this. And yeah, he's been so inspiring around it. So that's how we sort of got involved. Tricia, what is your...
Yeah, what is it?
For those that are listening, Tricia just shook her head violently. So, Tricia, why do podcasts interest you? Or what sort of podcasts interest you?
I don't know. Having a platform where young voices can really be heard and listened to, and just having conversations really interests me, and why I initially joined it.
Why do we think that this sort of series is important to, and why do we think it's important to platform young people's voices?
I mean, it is just a safe space around LGBTQ plus conversations where maybe in an environment where it's safe.
Yeah, definitely. And I think sort of it's really important to sort of hear from the source. There's loads of statistics around LGBT plus young people, but it's just so much better to hear from an LGBT plus young person, to hear directly from the horse's mouth, as the saying goes, and sort of learn what their experience is like, rather than them being jotted down as a statistic.
Mm-hmm. We're not Hillary Cass. We talk to young people.
Yeah, so anyway, touching about that, let's discuss the current political climate. So obviously there's a lot that's been happening, especially around trans rights, with the trans community being in the sort of scope of politicians and being used as political football. One of the more recent things is around West Streeton, the announcement he made banning puberty blockers, stating that the government care. Quote, the trans community is at the wrong end of all the statistics for mental ill health, self-harm and suicide. That is a direct quote from West Streeton during the statement when he bans the puberty blockers, where he would know this will have a direct effect on the trans community, negatively.
It's actually so crazy. How can you say that? Banning something that will harm the trans community.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the current political climate of UK politics when it comes to LGBT rights, more specifically trans rights?
It's really not good. It's really harming a lot of people, a lot of young people especially. I've seen it have a lot of negative impact on a lot of young trans people especially, and a lot of LGBTQ plus community as well.
Yeah. Did you know around transphobia that Police Scotland Freedom of Information Response statistics showed, I know I was just talking about statistics, but they are there, it showed the amount of reported hate incidents, including a transgender person in 2024, was 156, solely based on their gender identity. And in 2023, that number was much higher at 180.
Have you seen that in life?
Yes, actually. There have been, surprisingly, multiple incidents where I've personally faced hate crimes directed at me and directed at my friends. And yeah, it's definitely negative.
A report published by the Scottish Government at the end of February, it showed between 2022 and 2024 that there was 1.5% increase in the total number of charges reported to the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service containing at least one element of hate crime. There were increases for race, disability and transgender identity, which shows that more communities are facing discrimination.
Yeah, more communities are on the rise of discrimination based on things they can't really control.
Yeah, like
Such as
recent years as well.
Yeah, especially in recent years with political climates in other countries like America. Did you hear that? I can't remember which country it was. They banned like Pride March.
That is
Um,
not good. I like how in media as well, like it's showing that more gay people are more accepting when really that is not the case.
Let's talk a little bit about more lighter subjects in the media. Do you want to discuss other things that are happening soon, such as Pride Month?
Yeah, there's a lot of celebrations. What I'm looking forward to is that DC Comics are actually doing a Pride event for their comics. They're going to release, it's a comic they do of several issues containing LGBTQ plus stories about characters, and it platforms LGBTQ plus writers and artists as well, which is really good.
LGBTQ plus writers such as
Yeah.
Nicole Maines. For those who do not know, I am a massive Nicole Maines fan. I absolutely love her work in the activism community and as well as her acting work and as Dreamer in DC's Supergirl. She played the first openly transgender superhero on screens, and it was so inspiring to me, and I just love that they sort of casted someone who had that lived experience, someone who is trans, and also just someone who's so great at acting and did such a great job portraying emotions around that. Yeah, and she's an inspiration for me.
Any queer media that you're looking forward to? Or Pride events that you're looking forward to?
Yes, Pride events. Such a great segue. I'm really looking forward to Glasgow Pride. I've been to Glasgow Pride, I think, 2 years in a row so far, and I've been to Edinburgh Pride for the first time last year. They were all really positive. Have you been to any Pride events?
No, but I'm looking forward to going this year, maybe.
You will.
Glasgow Pride seems fun. It seems like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, Glasgow Pride is really fun. It just brings such a great sense of community. Shall we continue on the queer media route? Let's talk about some recent, or was recent during the recording of this episode, queer media, such as a show you really enjoy.
Yellow Jackets.
Yes, Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, Yellow Jackets is a recent TV show. The recent season just ended in April, in fact. And like it features a lot of gay characters, and Nicole Maines is actually in it. Yeah. It features a lot of lesbians, and there's a gay man in as well, so there's a lot of different representation.
Yeah, let's talk about some specific aspects. So, I haven't finished the show yet, as much to...
Imagine.
I'm getting a death stare from Tricia right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't actually finished watching it. I think I'm on season 2, episode 4. I had something spoiled in the future of season 3. Spoiler alert for Yellow Jacket season 3, where Shauna is...
Confirmed bisexual, yes. So we get more representation with that as well, which is really good. But it low-key came out of nowhere, but we'll take it.
To be fair, so did Akila and Crystal.
But her being gay, came out of nowhere.
You should
Like,
see-
we knew.
Did you see the way she looked at Jackie?
Yeah.
You see the way she looked at them?
Yeah, like we knew, like she looked like Santa girls, but having it confirmed was a big deal.
Do you want to talk a little bit about Shauna and her queerness? Because obviously I haven't seen this. My initial thoughts of season 2, episode 4, Shauna, I pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect that from Shauna. Nah, probably. Yeah, she's a queen. She's an icon. Misty,
Really?
Misty's was on the scale at some point. Look at her. You can't be that insane and not be gay.
For sure. Especially with Dot Misty, yeah.
Love it, don't Misty. Misty? Misty.
She's in the show, guys. Any other queer media?
There is. So, along with positive queer media, like Shauna being gay, there's also things like queer baiting. Do you know what queer baiting is?
No, could you explain that a wee bit? Elaborate.
Yes, of course. So, queer baiting is when shows make characters sort of depict them where they have like sort of queer moments, and it just sort of feels like they are going to sort of have queer moment between them and another character, but it's not, and they're just making it seem that way, so that way they could sort of pull in maybe queer people, etc., to get a wider audience.
But they don't actually give us queer representation.
Yeah, they don't. Some sort of examples of this is like Mal and Evie from the Descendants series.
Well, I mean, yeah, because
Don't give me that look.
I was going to say it's a kids movie, but they did. Remember Descendants 2, there actually was a gay kiss between Harry and Gil, but they cut it out actually. So Mal and Evie could have went there, but
and also, didn't Evie's actress sort of come out and just say, yeah, they were there?
yeah, and Doug Cameron as well.
Doug
Yeah.
Cameron as well, yeah. They should have gotten to get space between was so...
Lesbian.
That was not friendship.
Yeah,
That
no.
was the lesbians. They should have kissed at the end.
Any other media that queerbaits?
Yes. There is actually quite a lot of media that queerbaits. Another example of this, I touched on it a little bit previously, is in DC's Supergirl. I know a lot of fans of this show will understand the Supergirl and Lena Luthor, also known as Supercore, where there's just so many sort of scenes and things that show Cara Danvers, Supergirl's character, and Lena Luthor being really close and like they could. And I believe, I'm not sure if it is, I don't know if it's been sort of confirmed or not, but I know there was a sort of leaked image. No idea if this was real or not.
I think it was edited, but you know.
Yeah, but it was sort of image of on the final episode where Lena and Cara actually kissed, and I wish I saw that. But there was so many sort of hints to it in the show. Fuck,
It should have been canon.
should have been canon.
I feel like the comics have got something to do that as well, because like Supergirl's not like a canon queer character, and neither is Lena.
Another thing why I think this podcast is important is sort of talk about these things like queerbaiting in media and sort of discuss that with other young people who sort of go through that. We're also going to be talking with young people about other aspects of real life to discuss how that sort of affects them, how they go about life as an LGBT young people, if there's positives, if there's negatives, the barriers they face, the barriers they overcome. Yeah, I think that's a great point to sort of end this episode here. That's a sort of roundup of how the rest of the series will go, hopefully with less rambling, but more Nicole Mains. Maybe some Yellow Jackets as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy this, and we hope this gave you an idea of how the rest of the series will go. If you have any thoughts or questions, please feel free to send us them on the Instagram at theforgottengenerations.podcast. Thank you, and bye.